Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my channel, Food Willie. Not that Willie, this Willie, the one you do with a bike. I'm Drew. I'm going to be teaching you how to cook basic things along with more advanced stuff. I'm also going to be sharing my tricks and tips that I've learned throughout my career. Plus, I'm going to take you around my local area to show you some of the nice hot spots I have where I live. So, this is the very first Food Willie. I hope you enjoy. Stay tuned. We're going to teach you how to make rice. Very simple, very easy. If you like what you see, hit that like button, subscribe, and leave your comments in the section down below. What's up everyone? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Food Willie. Today we're going to show you how to make rice. Rice is very simple, very easy to do. It takes under 10 minutes to 12 minutes to make depending on the grain. Today I'm using jasmine rice. Jasmine rice is a long grain rice, so it's going to take about the 10-12 minute mark. But I'm going to show you how to do it in at least 10. I'm also going to use some rice wine or sake. Sake is a great flavor profile for rice. It goes well with it, it complements it. I'm using 15 ABV or alcohol by volume. Sake can be drank warm and it's so delicious. I'm also going to use a little white pepper. Reason I'm using white pepper, not black pepper. I want you to see the grains. I want you to see just the cloud, the puffiness of the rice itself, not have it covered with some black pepper. If you want to use black pepper, that's perfectly fine. Do whatever makes you happy. Cooking is an expression of you, yourself, how you feel. You don't have to follow guidelines or do this or do that, unless you're baking. Baking is definitely a chemistry. And I'm also going to be using some kosher salt. Kosher is a staple inside standard kitchens. A lot of cooks nowadays are using kosher. We don't use a lot of iodine. Iodine was basically introduced in World War II to help supplement the diets of the soldiers. They would add iodine to salt because there wasn't a lot of iodine foods back then, and iodine is one of the biggest things that you need in your body. So anyway, I'm talking way too much about this. Let's get to cooking. Okay, so the basic principle of cooking rice is ratio. What is a ratio? A ratio is a 1 to 1, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 2 to 3 parts. How do you do a ratio? A ratio is very simple. Most people will just use a measuring cup. So if you're going to do 1 cup of rice, you want to do 1.5 cups of water. Now, if you don't have a measuring cup around, that's okay. You don't need one. Ratios are very easy to pull off. You can use something as simple as this tiny little bowl. As long as you're doing 1 to 1.5 parts. So 1 full bowl of rice to 1.5 full cups of water. Simple, easy. Now today I'm going to do a 1 to 1 to half because I'm using the rice wine. I want the rice wine to cook off with the water and add the flavor to the rice. Okay, so what I've done is I've separated my rice and I've measured out 1 cup. I'm going to take the rice and I'm going to put it inside a sieve. What I do is want to just clean it, get all those impurities off and get rid of some of that extra starch. Whenever we clean the rice, we allow the grains themselves to be seen so well, and it stops that clumpiness that you see every single time. Always start with cold water. So you just want to run it through. Nothing too simple. Just let the water run over it. Move it around just a bit. Try to get as much of the grains as you can. So once you let your rice sit for a second, just to drain off all the excess water that's on it, we're going to transfer it to a pan. Here's where we're going to add our seasonings. The reason we add our seasonings now is we want it to cook with it, to enhance it, to fill it with flavor. You don't want to add it at the very end because you're just going to have a boozy alcohol for one. And your salt and your pepper might just be overpowering. Now, I'm not giving you exact measurements on salt and pepper because that is your taste. We always say in the industry, to taste. Now we're just going to add our 1 cup of water and our 1.5 cup, our half cup, I should say, of sake. Yes, I'm using a measuring cup to help people out. A little bit of white pepper. And some simple kosher salt. Like I said before, you always want to start cold. Add the rice with the water. And we're going to crank that heat up to high. We want to bring this to a boil as quickly as possible. Now that we got our rice coming to a boil, we want to do just a quick stir. Loosen it up, separate it. Make sure that you're not sticking to the bottom. And that's it. Now I'm using an electric stove, so I'm going to turn mine down to about 6. And here's what you want to do. You want to cover it. I don't have a lid for this, so simple trick. A simple frying pan will act as a cover. You just want the rice to simmer. It's going to steam it at the same time. Now let this go for about 10 minutes. Once you put that lid on that rice, just leave it alone. You want that steam to build up inside there. You want it to absorb into the rice. Don't go checking it. Don't go lifting it up. Don't go stirring it. Just walk away. Set your timer. Walk away. Now that your rice is done cooking for about 10 minutes or so, just pull it off the heat. Leave that lid on there. You want to capture that steam. Now a lot of people will sit here and say, go ahead and just lift it up and fluff your rice. And it's okay to do that. But you want to do it as quickly as possible because you don't want all that steam to get out. Just let that sit for about 2 minutes. The reason we keep the lid on there in the last 2 minutes is we're absorbing what's left of that moisture inside there. It's pulling those flavors of that sake, the peppers, the salt into it. And there you have it. A simple, easy bowl of rice. Packed with flavor. And if you don't like the seasoning, add to it at the very end. Add a little bit of salt, add a little bit of pepper. It's to your taste. But very simple, very easy to do. Go ahead, try this at home. That's good. Thanks for joining me on the very first episode of Food Willie. As you can tell, I was very nervous. I have no clue what I'm doing as far as filming. I'm learning as I go. So I hope you want to join me in this little adventure of mine as we explore food, local areas, and just have fun with it. If you like what you see, hit that like button, subscribe, leave your comments below. All in all, I think it was a good day. Hope to see you guys soon.